Hello guys, my name is Alex Gomez and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna be sculpting a female alien bust. So let's see. This is a time lapse, by the way. So pretty much we're gonna start with primitives for the neck, for the head, for the torso and the shoulders. After having those primitives, what I'm going to do, or what I did in this case, is just merge everything down and dynamesh all my subtools so I can start blending my shapes. After blending my shapes, I just jump into carving out the orbital bones of the eyes and I add two spheres for the eyes. After that, I start kind of like working a little bit more on shapes, filling out those kind of like eyelids, setting up the mouth, kind of like looking where the mouth is going to be, and also giving a little bit more proportions, filling out more of the eyelids and cut them right in the middle so I can see the eyes of this character. I start adding kind of like a little bit of those parts where I know where the mouth is gonna be, where the bone cheeks is gonna be, where the nostrils are gonna be, and kind of like start adding some volume to it until I have kind of like I will say probably secondary details or secondary forms. So my primary forms pretty much are my basic shapes. My secondary forms is when I start kind of like not detailing, but kind of like drawing where every single facial feature is in my sculpt. After that, I uprest the dynamesh and I keep dynameshing, but upresting a little bit so I get more resolution to it and keep working on those details. So as I mentioned before in some of my videos, make sure that you sometimes work in the nose, then jump to work on the eyelids, then jump to work on the mouth. I pretty much kind of like to take my time and work a little bit in one feature, work a little bit in, for example, the nose and so on, so I have like a fresh eyes every time I go back and I see, okay, this needs improvement or not. For the ears, I was super lazy, so I grabbed the IAM brush I think there is like a human parts for that one, and I grab the ears and I just mold them like for my needs or for the needs of the character. In this case, the neck is super different, kind of like it has like you have the sternocleidomastoid muscle that I always talk about, that comes from the back of the ear that goes all the way to the beginning of the clavicle. So I kind of like it's an alien who knows how the physiognomy of this alien is. I'm going to create more of those kind of muscles right there, and also put kind of like the same shapes in the temporals of the head, just kind of like to make it a little bit more cohesive. So kind of like, okay, this is the way this character is. And once again, I kind of like move around, add bits and details there, and try kind of like to process more my character. I know my workflow is not that organized as other artists, but this is the way that it works for me. So pretty much it's not everything set on stone, that if you guys have a workflow you have to, or if you learn a specific workflow you always have to follow it. Just do whatever works the best for you and do whatever it makes you pretty much happy and enjoying this process, because definitely digital sculpting, more than creating cool characters and creating or working in the CG or animation industry or film industry, the idea of this process, of these kind of like personal projects, because for me these ones are personal projects, pretty much is to enjoy the process and enjoy what you're doing as a hobby, and eventually like this is pretty much portfolio that you guys are gonna create, and that help you a lot in if you guys want to have a career in the animation or film industry or game industry as well. So then I use like the curve tubes and start adding some curve like around the head, and kind of like adding those curves and then building some in the head, kind of like some how you call that? I need it kind of like to blend it out a little bit more, so I kind of like start like using my clay buildup to kind of like build a little bit where those tubes are connecting to the head. And then I went kind of like you know, like along the way, but across the way. So you see, like kind of like doing like a perpendicular to those shapes. So it will give it like a way more texture to it, and I think it looks more as a, you know, like muscly, kind of like those fibers when you guys use the clay buildup. This is super cool technique that to use, that I know because I've been watching like a Flip Normals. I think is MJ now, that's how he likes to be called now. Morton. He always said, you know, they always work or make your strokes not along the shape but across the shape. Just as that sample as I'm doing, I'm not going my because it kind of like feels more natural. I think I totally agree with them. So yeah, it's a cool technique that you guys should follow. I added more details to it, and you see, it's just kind of like a part of the process. Like in total, this sculpt took me around like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. I'm not as fast as other people are, but you know, as long as you enjoy the process is pretty much what matters. And I'm pretty sure that I'm probably gonna take this character and gonna do a 3D printed to it. I'm gonna show you guys how it ends up looking, but yeah. Then after that, kind of like I just merged those tubes to my original shape and Dynameshed all together, so I can just blend it way more like nicer in this way. So after blending that, I really kind of like style a little bit more, kind of like my shapes, look in the front and making sure that everything is okay, and just do a Zremesh. After doing a Zremesh, I kind of like you know, go more in detail with those shapes, but I already had some shapes, so kind of like I project a couple of times, so I subdivide and then project. And after I had those projections, I definitely added more details. So I went like across the way, adding more details. That was kind of painful. I should have used another system that you can do just to generate those lines, but the way that I was doing it creates those lines and those kind of like divisions a little bit more random. So it really helps more kind of like to create variety instead of a pattern that is gonna be like super repetitive. So you know, like every single square is not similar, which is good for this case of what I need. Put more wrinkles and define those areas of the eyelashes as well. Put a lot more wrinkles and more pattern like that, like going that way. So yeah, and in this case, you know, like I don't have Dynamesh anymore, so I pretty much subdivide my mold, like probably about 5 subdivisions, and work on more details and making sure that my mouth is looking good and everything is, you know, add more volume to the mouth as well there, and it comes together along. But you know, it's the process. It's the process that you have to trust, because some people just give up like really, oh, my character is not looking good, my character looks like an alien, but you really have to go back and forward until you are happy with those shapes. And don't never give up. Like, you know, like I have in some videos, I remember doing a Black Widow stylized character, and the face, I had such a hard time with the face, and I was just not basing that in any designs at all. But I was just going with the flow, and the faces that I was getting they were horrible, and then I didn't give up until I have a really nice shape. You can find that in some of my videos. So yeah, that's the thing, like never give up on those ones. Then I add some colors. I Polypaint kind of like the eyes, make like nice green, and keep Polypainting to it. So yeah, pretty much kind of like I in this way I kind of like Polypaint, and then I said, oh, I didn't like it, I just restarted again, and it's fine. it's fine also to kind of like restart your process, and then I start keep painting again until you find kind of like, you know, the groove of your character and you're happy with it. Because sometimes like I say, I don't like it, keep going, but sometimes it's like, you know, start from zero and go again and do it again, and then you see that you're gonna learn from whatever you didn't like, and you can apply what you were projecting to that specific case scenario. But yeah, just enjoy the process, you know, and I'm not saying like you know, just practice, which is the most important thing to do, is just practice. At least make like a one sculpt a week, and it's gonna improve your sculpting techniques and your sculpting techniques, your skill, your speed is gonna improve so much in this part. So I hope you guys find some value in these videos. Don't forget to watch my other videos if you want to switch from Zbrush to Blender. I have a really nice course that I'm still uploading videos. It's free, from Zero to Hero Blender sculpting class. So take care and see you next time, guys. Have an amazing week. Bye.